right, everybody, buckle up. Today's deep dive is going to take us straight into the heart of plant science. We're talking about seeing the inner workings of living, breathing plants like never before.
Yeah. Imagine like someone finally invented plant X-ray vision. This is some seriously cool stuff.
Okay, so maybe not actual x-rays, huh? But we are diving into some seriously groundbreaking research. Like, this is fresh out of Science Advances, published just this month, so you know it's legit. We're talking about CES MRI.
Yeah. The name sounds kind of technical, I know, but stick with me, all right? What it all boils down to is this CES MRI lets scientists actually watch how things like sugars, amino acids, the building blocks of life, how that stuff moves around inside a living plant.
Whoa, hold up a sec. You're saying we can literally see the nutrients flowing through a plant, like as it's happening.
Exactly. Isn't that wild? We're talking about witnessing the nitty-gritty of plant growth, which, by the way, up until now has been a total black box. We've been studying plants for centuries, but actually seeing this internal world, how sugars are made and used, it's just been impossible.
Huh. Yeah, I guess I never really thought about it like that. You think it'd be easy to see what's going on in there, right? It's not like plants are made of steel, it's leaves and stems.
Right. You'd think so. But here's the thing. See, previous imaging techniques, they just couldn't cut it.
Yeah.
Literally. Plants, they've got all these tiny air pockets, all these crazy complex structures inside them, and it just messed with the images. It's like trying to take a clear picture through a foggy window or something.
Okay, so how's this CES MRI different? It's like, what, the MRI they use in hospitals, but for plants?
You got it. Well, kinda. They are related, for sure, but here's the key difference. Regular MRI, the one they use for people, it uses these super strong magnetic fields, and those just don't play nice with all those air pockets in plants. Too much interference makes the image all noisy.
Ugh.
But CES MRI, this is where it gets cool. It's way more sensitive, so it can actually work around those air pockets and give us this crystal clear picture of what's happening, like down to the molecules, even while the plant's just doing its thing, growing.
All right, so we got our plant x-ray vision. We're seeing nutrients in action. This is huge. What kind of stuff were the researchers actually able to see with this new tech?
Okay, so get this. One of the most incredible things they saw was how the sugars and amino acids, all that good stuff, how they actually fluctuated in barley grains. And get this, over a 60-hour period. Like, they watched it change in real time.
Wait, slow down, back up. You're telling me they could actually see a plant eating, like actually eating. That's insane.
Yeah, pretty much. I know, it's insane, right? It changes everything.
Yeah.
We're talking about watching the most basic process of how plants grow right there in front of our eyes.
Wow. Okay. I'm speechless. This is incredible.
Oh, and it gets even better. This whole thing. This isn't just limited to barley. They were able to use this technique on all kinds of plants, from teeny tiny seeds all the way up to those, big knobbly tubers. It's like the possibilities are endless.
All right, this is clearly a total game changer, but let's, bring it back down to earth for a sec.
Right.
Why should all this matter to, like, the average person, someone who doesn't have a PhD in plant science,
Okay, so imagine this, right? Imagine being able to actually see how a plant is using water, how it's using nutrients, how it deals with stress, even how it fights off diseases. Like, imagine the possibilities. This is huge for agriculture. We're talking about potentially growing food more efficiently, maybe even engineering crops that can handle, like, whatever climate change throws at them. This is the future of food, man.
So we could be talking about a future where we're not just growing, like, more food, but food that's actually better for us. It's more nutritious, more resilient, the whole shebang.
Exactly. And it's really cool? This tech, it's not like just giving us a slightly better image. It's like someone flipped on a light switch in a room we never even knew existed before. And you know what we're finding in that room? Some seriously mind-blowing stuff.
All right, you got to give me the good, spill the tea. What's one of these, like, aha moments that this CES MRI is revealing?
So remember how we were saying this technique works on a whole bunch of different plants? Well, one, they looked at the sugar beet, showed something super interesting. Using the CES MRI, they found this, like, whoa, this crazy ring-like pattern of sugar inside the plant's taproot.
Rings? Wait, like tree rings, but inside the root. Okay, what's so special about that?
It's more than just a cool pattern, trust me. See, these rings, they actually show us the different tissues inside the root, like the parts that are all about transporting sugars versus the parts that are storing them. It's like, bam. Suddenly we can see the plant's internal plumbing system, how it manages this whole delicate balance of moving energy around and keeping some in reserve.
Okay, so this isn't just about making sugar beets sweeter, right? This has like major implications for all kinds of root crops. I'm thinking potatoes, carrots, the whole nine yards.
You're getting it,
Right.
right? By understanding this whole transport and storage system, we could totally unlock ways to make these crops way more productive. And, super important, more resilient. Especially in those parts of the world where, like, these crops are literally what keep people going.
Man, this is kind of blowing my mind here. It seems like with this technology, like every plant we look at could just like explode with all this complexity we never even knew was there before.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what makes this research so crazy exciting. It's not about answering one specific question. It's about opening up this whole new path for understanding how plants do their thing, like at the most fundamental level.
Which, let's be real here, is something we desperately need right now, right? I mean, with everything going on, climate change, more people to feed, we need every advantage we can get.
Exactly. This technology, it's a game changer. We're not just like tinkering around the edges anymore. We're talking about completely changing how we think about plants, how we approach this whole challenge of feeding the planet.
It's like we've been trying to solve this puzzle in the dark, and then, bam, someone finally flips the lights on.
Right. And who knows what other amazing stuff is out there just waiting to be discovered, just waiting for us to take a closer look with these new eyes.
So, speaking of looking closer, this tech, it seems pretty powerful. Are there any, like, I don't know, limitations or hurdles that the researchers might run into trying to use it more widely?
Oh, that's a great question. And yeah, we got to be real, right? As amazing as this all is, there are still a few things to figure out. Like, these MRI machines, these aren't exactly cheap, and someone's got to know how to use them. Making sure researchers all over the world have access to this technology, that's going to be key.
So it's like we got this amazing tool, but we need the right workshop, the right people to really use it to its full potential, right?
Exactly. And then there's the whole data thing. These machines, they generate a ton of data, really complex stuff. We're talking serious computer power needed just to make sense of it all.
Right. It's one thing to see the images. It's another thing entirely to like decipher the secret code they hold, to figure out what it means for how the plant actually works.
Exactly. It's like having this incredible telescope that can see all the way to the edge of the universe. But you need astronomers who can take all that raw data, all those images, and translate it into something we can understand. But all that being said, this is such a huge breakthrough. We can't ignore it. The potential here is just too big.
We're talking about like a revolution in plant science, and CSMRI is leading the charge.
And honestly, this is just the beginning. Just imagine all the questions we still have about plants, all those mysteries hidden inside them, just waiting to be discovered.
It's like we're, I don't know, adventurers or something, setting foot on a whole new continent. But instead of land, it's like the inside of plants we're mapping for the first time.
And the best part, you don't need a fancy lab coat or a PhD to come along for the ride.
Wait, hold on. You're saying like our listeners, they can get in on this whole plant exploration thing. How does that even work? How can someone at home who maybe isn't a scientist, how can they contribute?
It all starts with asking questions, right? Like, what surprised you today? What got you curious? What other mysteries about plants would you want to see this technology used for? Those questions, those could lead to some seriously cool discoveries.
Love it. So it's about taking it beyond just like listening, right?
Yeah.
Sparking conversations, maybe even inspiring someone to like look at their houseplants in a totally new way.
Exactly. Talk about it. Share your thoughts online, with your friends. Get those brain juices flowing. And hey, don't underestimate the power of just like looking around. Next time you're outside, take a minute. Really see the plants around you, the way they grow, how they react to the sun, the rain, all of it. You might find yourself asking the same kinds of questions that lead to like groundbreaking research.
Everyone's got a little scientist in them just waiting for that like spark of curiosity.
Exactly. And hey, who knows? Maybe someday one of our listeners is going to be the one developing crazy new plant varieties, solving world hunger, all because they started asking questions.
This has been one wild ride. We've gone from like total mystery about what's going on inside plants to actually seeing the nutrients flow in real time. Talk about a backstage pass to like the most important processes on the planet.
And through it all, we see how powerful human ingenuity can be, how technology is helping us push the boundaries of what we know, of what's even possible.
So as we wrap things up here, I want to leave you with this thought. Imagine you had that plant X-ray vision. What would you want to see? Would it be like that incredible dance of photosynthesis as a plant soaks up the sun? Or maybe how a tiny seed pushes its way through the soil? What secrets do you think you might unlock?
Keep those imaginations running wild. Until next time, happy exploring, everyone.